wait for you to be like, what?
Why didn't you do it?
I was like, it might not be good for this, this topic.
I put this on here for us.
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
Uh-huh.
That's what I was doing when you got here.
Oh, for real?
I was in here messing with this.
On this? Can you make it on this?
On this.
Oh, okay.
I was transferring over from this to that. But what's going on, everybody? We got a special guest here with us tonight. This is actually the first interview that we've done. So I'm excited about this. Ever.
Okay.
I mean, I've done it with like one of my buddies, but there wasn't like a interview.
Okay.
And I don't really consider this an interview either, but yeah, I'm excited, man.
Oh,
so
me too.
For everyone who doesn't know, I am Nick, and tonight we've got a special guest. His name is Ryan Hundley. Big dog.
Nice. I like it.
You like that?
Oh, yeah.
I was doing that when you were giving it too.
I like it. Perfect.
Ryan is actually my brother-in-law, so he is legit fam.
Straight up.
And you know how you are on my phone?
Huh?
Ryan Hundley. Well,
No, nice. That's funny because I was like, we just need to put up a sign that says Hundleywell Farms out here.
that's perfect.
I was like, it gets both names. Mine's kind of in the front.
It nails it. I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect for me. I don't know how your parents would feel, but
It doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah. We'll just put it up.
Would they
and see
even
how it
notice?
goes. Probably not. Probably not. Your dad would. Your dad would for sure.
So the reason we wanted to bring Ryan in tonight is Ryan's had some pretty life-changing experiences over the past couple months.
Yeah, 100%. It's probably been really started about 4 months ago, I think.
Okay,
That's
bring
what-
that mic down and like just kind of in front of you a little bit more.
Here,
Yeah,
is that better?
yeah, it's better.
Okay. So
So
yeah,
about
it's
4 months ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's when we got sick.
Okay.
And
All right.
That's when everything changed. So
Okay. So before we jump into that, I want to get a little bit of backstory from you, kind of what your past is and what your childhood was like a little bit.
you said a little bit because there's a lot.
Well, I mean,
A lot got me to that point.
well, then let's go with a lot
Okay.
because I think that's important.
Yeah. It was I mean, I guess it started normal.
Okay.
And my parents, I was born in Denton, first child of the family. My parents got divorced around 3 or 4, when I was about 3 or 4. I don't really remember it. So they got divorced. And then later on in my life, my dad, we went every other weekend. And, of course, we loved our dad. But so at one point, he got a new girlfriend, fiance, then it became his wife, and they moved to New Mexico.
Okay.
And, left us here in Texas with my mom, but his parents stayed to help take care of us,
Okay.
to help my mom. So his dad became kind of like my dad and my hero. But he was really, he taught me that there was no God. I got stuff in my throat. Sorry.
I was like, are we getting choked up already?
No, it's
Which is cool.
allergy
if we are.
season in Texas, man. It's bad. So he told me there was no God. He was my hero, so I believed everything he said. I mean, even to his racism remarks and stuff, it just, that's all I knew. I didn't know anything outside of that.
Right.
Because I listened to every word he said. So that's kind of how my mind frame was as a kid. And then when I got to high school, I started hanging out with everybody, and I was like, I kind of don't believe the things that he said. The God thing, I believed.
Right. But the racism stuff.
Yep. I was like, no, I don't like that. So
That one feels wrong.
yeah. So eventually, I changed in that way for sure. And then I really became where I was really against it and a normal person finally,
Okay.
and it took a while to break it. Because it's like everything in life. Once it's imprinted in you and it's what you play in your head all the time,
Yeah.
that's going to be who you kind of become.
Yeah.
So that's like my biggest bar from this whole thing is what runs in your head is who you become.
For sure.
So, you know, he moved to New Mexico, my dad, and then he started another family, and he put his all into those kids. But he left us here. So it was an abandonment, worthless feeling, not worth it, you know, for him to stay for us, but he had to go start another family.
Right.
So that's where it really started, to feel the rejection and stuff. And like at LTS, they teach you there's a root, then you build the branches from there.
Right.
So that was the root. Then at 8 years old, my mom invited this guy to my birthday party who didn't even bring a present. That was my first impression.
Winner.
Yeah. I was like, who are you? She ends up marrying the guy, and he starts making us go to church. So at church, he's a great Christian, and everybody loves him. But at home, he beats my mom and beats us. And I don't think he ever called us by name. He called us little S's. That's all he ever called us. My best friend was at the house one time, and he said my room was trashed. And I had my baseball cards because I love collecting baseball cards, football cards when I was a kid, and they were everywhere. And I was trying to get them organized. He said, I'm taking a shower. If this room isn't clean by the time I get out, I'm throwing everything away. He took a 5-minute shower, got out. While my best friend's there, everything in my room, my VCR, my TV, my bed, took it all to the dump, threw it away.
God, your bed?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The guy had some problems for sure. And
so that was like this is church people.
Yeah. So the man that took me to church for the first time and made me go to church was that guy. So
holy crap, dude.
That kind of went along with what my papa said, and I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense then. So then my whole life, basically, I fought against God and cursed him, and I wasn't shy about it.
Right.
He was not my friend.
Yeah.
And in my eyes. So it got worse. Drug addiction to meth at 18. Then I had a fiance when I was 19. 20, I came home from a family vacation, and she had cheated on me with our boss. So, and then she told me.
Did y'all work together at the time?
Oh, yeah. All three of us.
Oh, dude.
So, yeah, that was weird.
That makes the break room conversation a little awkward.
Yeah. But he's the one that finally told me. She wouldn't tell me. And
golly,
then he came
dude.
and told me, he's like, you have to know this. And I'm sure he was just trying to wiggle in.
Yeah.
You know, but he told me nonetheless, so I kind of forgave him. I was like, at least you're man enough to tell me. And so I told her, you know, whatever, called her what I thought she was probably, and then begged her to stay. Because I guess I felt I was worthless, man. So I was just dying for love, and I didn't know that at the time. But looking back, that's what it was. I just wanted to be wanted and put myself in a stupid situation, stay in that, you know, and it was tough. I was 20 years old. She's going to do that, and we're done.
Yeah.
You know, the minute I step out the house, and then with our boss. So
right.
She didn't really care, I don't think. Anyways.
I would venture to say you're probably right.
Yeah, for sure. But later on, we split, whatever. Then I got on cocaine real bad. I was addicted to that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, man, grabbing everything to try to cover your pain.
Yep.
Any good feeling I could find, I was on it.
I never did mess with meth, but I did a lot of psychedelics, cocaine, weed, pills, alcohol.
I did all those things too.
And it's probably just because meth wasn't like readily available in my circle. If it was, I definitely would have done it.
Well, I didn't even know what it was. And then my buddy showed up one night with a little bag of something. And from there, I was like, oh, I'm chasing this for sure. Because during that time, I didn't care what was going on.
Right.
It took all the pain away. But one thing with the addiction, I always came to a part where I could force myself to get off of it when I knew this was the end.
Yeah.
Do it now, or you're going to prison, or you're going to die.
Yeah.
And when I would get to that, I would kind of wake up a little bit. I went to my mom's house and said, keep me here for, a couple weeks.
Right.
Let me leave. And she did. And I've been fine since then,
Yeah, yeah.
Then I got back into weed.
I think we both got lucky in that sense to where I didn't have to go to like a full-blown rehab or anything like that. But for me, what got me out of my addiction was Jesus.
And you know what? Looking back, it's always been Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I could have sat there and smoked dope. I did smoke dope for weeks at a time and not go to sleep, Yeah. And that's what we did. And I'd color and do stuff like that because I'm not going to go be a human
right
out in public while I'm like that.
Yeah.
Because I will be freaked out for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody be looking at me. I know that. And I would not be comfortable. So, we stay in the house like hermits. I lived with my dealer at one point.
Yeah.
He took me down to a sketchy part of Fort Worth, man, where it was like a lot of Nazi activity. And he cooked one time there with a guy. Nice. I didn't know that was going on because I had to wait in the house with all these other people that didn't make me comfortable either. So that kind of woke me up on that part. After that, I was like, dude, you've had cops pull up with lights behind you and you've had a pound of weed and 16 grams of meth in your car and get off on the exit right behind you, dude. You were that close.
Right.
And it was time to quit. So I gave all my stuff to somebody else and like my markers and stuff. I had art sets because I would color so much.
Right.
It just seems weird now looking back, but it's just all to keep your mind off of everything.
Right.
That's all it is.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely an escape.
For sure. But it's not the right one.
No.
And when I look back now, I see, because my wife told me, your sister, told me that.
It's weird to hear you say about my sister, about my little sister.
Yeah. My wife.
Yeah.
My wife.
My wife.
Yeah. She said, she was like, look at some of your memories and look at the way you say things. Because when we met, I told her, I made it clear, I don't believe in God.
Yeah.
I don't go to church. I don't believe in it. And she said, well, I do. Always have. But she was kind of lost too. So, I guess it didn't bother her that I didn't follow.
Right.
But I believe we were put together because when we were put together, we went through all kinds of crap together, but it was never us not loving each other or fighting. It was everything in the world was just kind of hammering us.
Yeah.
Trying to teach us a lesson, wake us up, something. There had to be something, a reason this all happened because, boy, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough and things happened. We were really lost and given up pretty much. We were down on our knees when we got sick. And I passed out a bunch of times while I was sick. I've never felt that sick in my life, ever. And the way I describe it is it feels like my soul was kind of dying. Like I was just shriveling. Is what it felt like.
Yeah.
I was so dehydrated, I had to go. Like the doctors didn't believe me the first time. I ended up back in there, and they started pumping me through with fluids. But I was so dehydrated when they hit my vein, blood just shot everywhere.
Golly.
And it would have freaked me out normally, but I was I could barely walk. Like I waited.
You're so out of it that
I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was terrible. So one time when I passed out during that, I don't know what happened, but I woke up, and the only thing on my mind was, I need God. I need God in my life. And at this point, she had gotten sick, and she was on the ground for days. She couldn't get up. Like, we couldn't help each other either because we were both in the same place. And the first thing we said to each other when we saw each other after those was, I told her what I needed God, and she said, I need to go back to church. First thing she said. And I was like, okay. So that's what we were told while we were sick. Somehow. We know how, but our hearts knew where we had to go to finally, we could say we wanted to leave this life and do better for so long, but we never knew how, or there was no kind of outline, no plan.
Right.
We by ourselves, we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Been trying it for 39 years.
Yeah.
And it's never worked. So my mother's always been there to help me. I mean, financially, and she gets me out of everything, and that could be a crutch also, which made me feel comfortable in my misery, I guess.
Yeah.
Because then I became where
you knew it could only get so bad.
She would never let me get to that point.
Right.
But in my mind, dude, I wanted to leave this earth so many times.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to go. I didn't want to be here. I used to say it's unfair that I got brought into this world without an opinion, on it.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Now that I think of that and I hear other people say it, I'm like, that makes no sense. It doesn't. It's selfish.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, because all I want is a kid.
Right.
And I don't want my kid to feel like that one day. Like, God, I don't even want to be on this world.
Yeah.
So it got we were lost. Nothing was going right at all. Even though we didn't fight between us, which was I explained that to everybody. I was like, life is so hard right now. Our marriage is so hard. Not between us. But just the
circumstances and
man.
Yeah.
It didn't stop. My dad died, and then like your dad had a heart attack, and all your mom's stuff, and everything just builds. And then we got rear-ended that time. So now I don't have a truck, and I lost my job, and all of that just kind of built together. But
piles up.
Oh man, it'll crush you, and if you let it.
Yeah.
But so we went to LTS. Life Transformation School.
I was telling Jenny last time I did LTS, I did it once, and LTS is like a, how would you describe it?
So I would describe it as, if you don't know how to find God and give everything to God, my bad. If you don't know how to do that, LTS is very good at giving you an outline and walking you through it. And it's amazing because I had no idea how to do anything.
And I kind of want to do it again because the first time I did it, I was in the place of, I'm going to church because Amber goes to church. So I didn't really invest anything into it.
Yeah.
And I was young.
And
I think I was like in my early 20s when I did it.
I'm sure there was people there, the same thing. I mean, kids that were forced to be there and stuff like that. Like there's people that didn't get out of it what other people got, I'm sure.
Right.
And I think everybody gets something different.
Yeah.
But I went into it because we did it together, but it was very separate. We both had our own lives and things that we had to go walk through, the things that we needed to forgive, hand to Jesus, let him have those things. So we were together, but we walked our own path through LTS for sure. So, man, it was amazing. It's the first night I was wowed. The second night I was floored.
Yeah.
Then the third day we were like, nah, we're not going to see nothing new.
Okay.
Oh, we did.
So real quick, before you jump into that, because this is the story that I want to hear.
Yeah.
When you guys were sick
mm-hmm.
and you both decided, okay, it's time to go back to church.
Yeah.
What happened from that point?
Okay, I got you. Before LTS.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle. I mean, the first 2 weeks we were like, yeah, we're back, we got to go.
Yeah. But the honeymoon is it like a honeymoon phase?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're fixing our lives.
Right.
But we're not participating
mm-hmm.
with Jesus. We were just showing up.
Yeah.
And singing with everybody, and I didn't know how.
Yeah.
I've never known. All I knew was how everybody else described God to me, and it sounded like he was a disciplinary, unforgiving. So he was described as, an angry God, basically vengeful and stuff like that. And then I've learned, since going back to church, I learned who Jesus truly is, who God really is, and it changed everything. It did. So we were going, and then we'd get to where we were like, hey, you want to go this weekend? But we kept making ourselves go. I would find that 7th grade, I first heard Tupac at summer school, and I fell in love. That became my music.
Yeah.
Rap music became my music. Eminem became the person I went to every time I hurt.
You and me both.
Yeah. Kim, if a girl ever hurt me, Kim would go on immediately, and I would just dream of her dying and being thrown off in the river. It helped me cope with my feelings, but in the most unhealthy way ever. So that's when I learned that what you hear in your head all day is who you become.
Yep.
So I started calling women bees. They weren't women no more.
Yep.
You know, anytime I talked about a girl, I'd be like, this be or that be, you know.
Yeah.
And it became where I felt that I was very superior to women. That's what it became like. I didn't respect women anymore and stuff. And then that probably had something to do with my mom not kicking my stepdad out whenever, you know, but now that I look at it, she was scared to death. She didn't know how to get rid of him, you know.
Right.
Because of what happens when she tried. So I started becoming, and then gangster rap. I want to fight everybody. I want to.
Dude, we probably would have been good friends in high school.
For sure. I mean, I talked to your sister about it, and she was like, that sounds a lot like Nick. And I'm like, yeah, I was freestyling all the time.
Oh, yeah, we would have been good friends.
And I was actually good. But, you know, I mean, I hung out with all black guys in high school pretty much. I wore FUBU and Nietzsche shorts, like white K-Swiss everywhere I went. You know, I had my earrings in. I had frosted tips. I thought, you know, I was the guy that I look back at now and go, oh.
So you know how, I'm sure you guys can tell just by looking, Ryan's taller than me.
Barely.
I used to wear 2XL tall tees.
Oh my God, yeah. That
they went down to like here on me, dude.
She told me about that, and I was like, "Oh, Nick." I never got into the Laffy Taffy tall tees. That was
dude.
That's when it came around, right? Like
yeah,
D4L
the
was
hyphy
wearing,
movement.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
But yeah, it just I was FUBU jerseys, and I got looks from people all the time. Like,
I never did do FUBU, but I wore a lot of South Pole.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I had the shirts and Echo.
What's the what are the brand of jeans that had the straps on the legs? Like the Velcro straps.
Jinko? Did you wear Jinkos?
It wasn't Jinko. I did wear Jinkos, but that wasn't until my skater phase.
I wore Jinkos too, but I couldn't do the big ones, so I got they're a little baggy.
Yeah.
But they had the fire little symbol on the butt cheek, you know?
Yeah.
So
they were legit.
Mm-hmm. That's why I got them. With the FUBU jersey over them. Yeah. I was cool in high school.
Okay, so you guys were Sunday morning seat fillers.
Yeah, basically.
And so did you make a decision to like start serving first, or did LTS come up before that?
Well, the whole music thing I started talking about, there was a point and I got way off. I started noticing that it was hard to listen to music like that anymore.
Okay.
So he was already changing me in my heart.
Yeah.
Cuss words were starting to get to me real bad.
I remember you mentioned that to me like a month ago.
They made me cringe.
Yeah.
And they still do. And I don't like them. And sometimes I even will spit one out real fast. And I'm like, oh, why are you doing that, dude? Where did that come from? But it started with music. I stopped listening to pretty much all my secular music. I listen to pretty much worship music all the time now.
Yeah.
And it just, because it makes me feel way different than any of that did. So, plus, you know, it's not just for me.
Right.
So, then it started changing my shows. Like, I was like, man, I like a lot of that. My whole life, I always loved the evil, the dirty, the villain, I felt they were justified, you know? The world screwed me over, so now I'm going to screw the world over. And that's how I felt. The Joker, like, he was my favorite person ever because he was so warped in his mind, and I felt like I was kind of the same. So, kind of started leaning away from that stuff, too. It just didn't, sports. I don't really care too much if the Chiefs win or lose right now. And that was my life.
That's a big change.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a huge change.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but it doesn't affect me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to let it would ruin my whole day, you know, if they lost. Changes like that, just worldly things aren't appealing to me as much as they were.
And things start to get put in a little bit more perspective.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew, okay, something's happening just from me being here.
Right.
So it made me hungry for more.
Yeah.
And then that's when LTS was brought up. We talked about serving and stuff before that, but didn't really want to, I guess, too much.
Right.
I wasn't all about it for sure.
Yeah.
But that's when we got the LTS thing, and whenever that came up, we signed up for it and everything. We were good. I still had a job and a vehicle. And then, so we signed up for it. We were ready. Then it got to a point where we weren't going to be able to pay for our food, and I didn't have a vehicle anymore. So it looked like, oh, yeah, everything's happening, so we're not going to go to LTS. And we were kind of relieved. Like, good, we don't have to go to LTS, you know, because it's a commitment.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to do it for real.
Right.
So the church calls us and say, hey, we got all your meals covered, so you don't have to pay for any of the meals. We'll have lunch for you every day. So we were like, oh, man, crazy. Then, who was it? I think we took your mom's car. We had your mom's car the whole time.
Yeah, because she was she out of town that week?
Yeah, she went on vacation.
Yes, that's right.
Left her car for us.
Yeah.
So then we had a car. And then your sister sent us gas money so we could make it there. There was no way they were letting us miss this.
Right.
And now I see why. And so we were like, well, we got to go now. So, I mean, we were comfortable, you know, going to church in the bleachers even, you know.
Yeah.
We're just watching the game. And that forced us to really get in there.
Right.
And so we said, all right, we're going to do it together. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's see what it does. Because obviously there's all these signs pointing to how we couldn't have gone. We wouldn't have made it. No, it's easy to give up. But no, he kept saying, nope. You need this. You need this. You need this. And we did. And it was an amazing experience. Dr. Graham is amazing.
Yep.
I don't want to say what happens in it really, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody else.
Yeah, we're like Mormons. We're not going to tell you our secrets.
Jesus was in America. No hate, no judgment. It's just, my best friend growing up was Mormon.
Was he?
Yeah. So I went to seminary with
I
him
knew
at
a lot of
5:30
Mormon
in the
kids.
mornings
Oh my
before
gosh.
school and stuff all the time. And I was like, what is this? But
where are the windows?
But I wasn't Mormon, so I couldn't go in. I would nap on the bench in the hallway while he was in class.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But they were everybody
Nicest
was so
people.
nice. Yep.
I'm telling you, all the Mormons I knew were crazy nice people.
Yep.
Okay, so LTS.
Mm-hmm.
Walk us through that.
All right. So the first night they kind of tell you, they give you a layout kind of. They do a bunch of sessions, and our pastor Jay does a lot of the sessions because LTS is 35 plus years old now, started in South Africa with Dr. Graham and his wife. And in South Africa, it's a 30-day program. But here...
That's nuts. I didn't know that.
Here, it's a 10-day program. But 4 of those days, you don't go. I think, in between. So it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then Tuesday was our personal prayer sessions that we have.
Is that the one-on-ones that they have?
One-on-ones.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we went back Friday and Saturday, and it was over. We graduated. So they just talk about, you know, it's love, forgiveness, mercy, all these things. That's who God is.
Yeah.
And he will take everything from you. You're not supposed to be holding all these things. That's not what he wants for you.
Right.
And I know he's been chasing me for a long time. I had a Bible that I took with me that I've had for 10 years that I got from Miss Kendra Knight. She was like a little angel that was sent for me. She's been trying my whole life to get me in the church. And she successfully did when I was a teenager, but I was there for women.
Yeah.
She didn't know that. But I had moments in there where at a sleepover, I just fell apart crying because my mother and I clashed heads so bad when I was a teen, and it broke me right there.
Yeah.
So I've always known there's power. There is. He's there in the back of my mind, even though I reject him. Mm-hmm. He would show up every once in a while and kind of tug at my shirt. But I was so lost, I'd just be like, man, get out of here.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. But So back to LTS, it's that first night is really good. Really good. And I went in with a full heart, like open all the way. I'm here. You tell me what to do, and I'm going to walk right down that path and do it.
Yeah.
Because I want to know. I still didn't know if I really believed in God at that time.
Right.
You know, I was going to church. I was walking the walk, but I don't know if I ever felt him or.
Right.
I didn't know really
You know
who
how
he was.
real he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out.
He's
And it's something I could never explain. Just pure joy is crazy.
Yep. That's one thing I always say, and I tell Amber all the time, there's moments like at work where I want to tell somebody when we're talking about God or something, but you can't describe the Holy Spirit unless you experience him.
Oh, man.
And yeah, you can't put it into words.
I've been cold and freezing before and shaking, but I've never vibrated like I did when the Holy Spirit came into me and filled me. My hands were vibrating like they were almost going numb. They were vibrating so hard. And all I could do was laugh. I was laughing out of pure joy. I couldn't do anything else. I was laughing out of relief, I think.
Yeah.
That like, oh my God, it's real.
Yeah.
And he's here to save me. And I laughed and laughed. I just giggled forever. I couldn't stop. Pastor Jay laughed at me. He was like, sometimes you laugh with the Holy Spirit. He was, because he couldn't help it. It was contagious, is what he said. He's like, there's nothing I could do but laugh, because all I could do was smile, and I was laughing the whole time, giggling like a little kid. And and my whole body's just surging with joy and power. It felt like it's power, it's love, it's
God is powerful.
Everything good, and he's just running it through me like, I'm here. Okay.
Yep.
So quit doubting me. That's done.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wonder if there's no way you could ever feel it and then go back.
No.
I mean, you could probably get lost in your way a little bit, but you never could question whether he was real again.
Never again.
And if you did, you would already know the answer. You're doing it out of spite or
right,
and it's just changed me. All those things that I talked about before LTS, they're multiplied times 10 now.
Yeah,
nothing. The second night when I gave all my past and my forgiveness of everybody on my list, that, you know, my stepfather, my dad, all that, and we just gave it to Jesus. It doesn't elicit a reaction anymore.
Yeah.
My stepfather, I mean, I could talk about it, but it doesn't make me mad anymore.
Right.
It doesn't make me want to find him. The thing I always thought was, I hope I see him one day in a wheelchair, and I'll just beat the crap out of him and be like, what's it feel like to be beat up when you're helpless?
Yeah.
That's what you did to us.
Right.
And that's my whole life. That was the scenario I wanted. Now I'm just like, no, he's forgiven, man. I can't be responsible for him. It's just baggage that I'm carrying on myself that destroyed me, because somebody assists you with that a little bit, but once you get going the opposite way, you're really good at just spiraling your whole life.
Yeah.
And we both met at the same point in our life, basically. We were both spiraling. We'd both pretty much given up.
You and Jenny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On life.
Yeah.
We loved each other more than anything, and our families. And we felt pain hiding from our families and stuff, you know. And we didn't want to be around anybody. We didn't want to be around anybody. We were miserable people.
Yeah.
What are we going to bring to this situation? And you're just going to make me mad at some point, or something's going to be, and I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
But I wasn't capable of it, because every time something happened, you just go down and go down and go down. So LTS, even when I got baptized, I think it was when I got baptized, because I got baptized before LTS, and I've been baptized before.
I was at your baptism.
Yes, you were.
Okay.
You were.
Yeah.
And that was way before LTS.
Yeah.
but I still didn't know if I believed. It
Yeah.
was still a question in the back of my head. And
It's funny. It's almost one of those things you need, but
yeah,
it's almost like you're seeking the community of the church instead of God himself.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're like, I know this is where I need to be,
It's like you're getting,
but I'm not sure why.
you're seeking acceptance from those people.
Yeah.
Oh, if a Christian family thinks that I'm a good person, then I'm good.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with your relationship with God. Like, it's not all churches are good churches. There's false prophets
so
everywhere,
true.
and
So true.
a lot of church hurt.
I just
for
did an
people.
episode on cautiousness last night.
Yep.
And it's very real.
Especially right now, there's a lot of crazy teaching going around and stuff. So, I'm blessed. We were definitely put with J and CC. Someone said, yes, they have a talent for broken people. They're very good with broken people. They draw broken people because they know how to help them.
Yeah.
And LTS walked us through it, showed me how to find him, how to let him have everything that I held. And then it prepared me how to walk with him from here on. So that's still going to be a test, every day.
Yeah, but the difference is now is, and I'm speaking from my experience too.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in church.
Yeah.
So I went through a long period of time where I said I didn't believe in God, but mine was more, I was just really angry and thought, well, if you don't want me, then I don't want anything to do with you.
Exactly.
So that's where my I don't believe in God came from. I was like, I'm just going to join this team.
But he never said he didn't want you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But until I had the Holy Spirit, that's the game changer.
100%.
That makes walking through all of life's difficulties, that is the difference maker.
Yep.
I can go to church 7 days a week, but if I don't have the Holy Spirit, life is still going to feel very hard.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's nice to just when things start to get difficult, you just get off by yourself where you in a place where you're comfortable and there's nothing to distract you. Me, it's nature.
Yeah.
I like to be outside, go off in the trees somewhere and talk to him and ask him, hey, I know I shouldn't be worried about this, but I am. Can you help me, get it off my heart? Show me how I need to solve it. Which way do you want me to go? And I'll go that way. After LTS, I wanted to run out the doors flying. I'm ready for the walk. And I still am. I'm like, let's do this, dude. I felt you. And now all I want is more.
Yeah.
More. Give me more.
Yeah.
More God, more Jesus, more Holy Spirit. Bring it all on. Because that feeling will never be matched by anything else.
Nothing.
So
I agree 100%.
I thought meth was good.
Woo.
Try some God. Try some Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
everything feels counterfeit after that.
Oh, for real. And it's one of those things where you just, after it, you're like, what? I always thought this, especially like the Holy Spirit and tongues and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, those are the people that I made fun of and judged the most my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, y'all are weirdos.
It doesn't film well, I've realized.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like when you see documentaries and stuff that are supposed to be like serious documentaries, I'm like, this doesn't film well. I don't think we should film this.
Right here is where it is.
Yeah.
Right here. And and I don't know if you've got it or you're spitting out words you've made up,
Right.
Not you.
Are you talking about me?
Not you specifically, but just somebody beside me. But I believe you.
Right.
And I believe that that's happening because it happened to me.
Yeah.
And I felt it. And that was the thing I thought that no door would ever open up that for me.
Right.
Because I so thought that was
nonsense.
Yeah. What are we making? Fairy tales over here?
What are we doing?
You trying to sell something? But hey, he goes, watch this. And I was like, oh, forgive me, please. Forgive me, please, because I was wrong. And it feels amazing. My mom, she's not super religious at all.
Yeah.
She grew up Lutheran.
Okay.
but she sees it in us big time.
Yeah.
She sees just us transforming, basically.
Right.
Becoming transcendent in situations where, you know, your positivity, your belief that everything's going to be okay, that God has you, that goes above. It transcends the worries. It just,
right.
It can't touch them anymore. And it gets hard at times, sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Your sister, we didn't have money for rent this month. I lost my job, you know, and we had lost my truck, so I can't really go do anything. So she started having a really hard time with it the other day, and I kept telling her, I was like, hey, God's got us, you know, God's got us. Just positivity and staying on that, and I really felt like it. Well, after I stopped hugging her and stuff, I went outside to go meet your parents because they brought mail home.
Yeah.
In one hand, I've got a letter that's denying my workers' comp because my past job denied me. And I was like, oh, awesome.
That's cool.
So, but in this hand was my 401k that was like $200 more than rent. So I went and got that check, got it. Now we got rent. 5 minutes after I told her to calm down, we got this. After it became a big thing, I've got a rejection and the answer in my hands. And I'm like,
that's such a good way to put that.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So it's like, told you,
Yeah.
like, that's how you feel. You don't want to say it like spiteful, but it's like, man, like he's really here for us.
Yeah. It's the strangest ways he seems to come through also.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times that's happened where it's not going to work.
Yeah. There's no way it will.
But somehow it ends up working.
Yep. And it's just, he shows you over and over.
That's one of the things I can't get over that I've, over these past probably 2.5 years now, is two things. One, his faithfulness, and two, his freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And freedom from drugs, like we talked about earlier. To this day, drugs and sexual stuff.
Yep.
I don't know how much you know about mine and Amber's past.
I know that there was problems with like infidelity, but I don't know details or nothing. Yeah.
So those were big issues.
Yeah.
And to be free from drugs and infidelity,
yeah,
dude, there's nothing else I want other than Jesus. Like that's our focus in life now is just Jesus.
I mean, for real. Dude, if you walk with him, every flower blooms right beside you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not wilting away.
Yeah.
Like it was in your own world.
Yep.
It's hard to describe. But your world turns into a beautiful place instead of a nightmare.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. The things that Jesus has done for me didn't just happen since I've started going to church. He's been doing it my whole life. I just wasn't looking or acknowledging that he was doing it.
That's good.
And now that I look back, I'm like, oh, yeah. So when I didn't go to prison for all that stuff, he was watching over me.
DUIs I never got.
Because he knew that wasn't who I was supposed to be.
Right.
You know, he saved me from a lot. I've been in situations with, meth heads and stuff where they pulling out guns and trying to, stuff's going sideways in somebody's house. And it's like, wow, how did I end up here? But at that point, I'm so lost that I'm just in there I'm like, what do we got to do? We got to take care of this guy. We got to do something. I'm like, he's got a gun. I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking all crazy, like, but I didn't value my life at all because I didn't think anybody else did.
Yeah.
So why should I?
Right.
But my whole life has been flipped around because there was somebody that loved me that whole time. No matter if nobody on this earth loved me, there's a love way above any of that.
Yeah.
That loved me the whole time and tried to wake me up a lot.
Yeah.
And watch my back at the same time when I'm out there just doing stupid,
irresponsible
things. My life could have gone way different. and it deserved to, probably.
Right.
You know, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But before we got sick and stuff, I gotten to a point where I question myself every day. Do you think you're a good person? Could you answer yes?
Oh, I used to tell myself I was a terrible person.
Oh, I did over
and I wore it like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a piece of...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of the first things I told Amber when we started dating was, I'm a liar.
Oh.
Believe me. Swear. That was...
Did you say believe me to her?
I did.
So it's like, are you lying
Should
about
I,
believe me? Or
like,
no?
see? But I did. I told her straight up, I'm a liar.
Yeah.
And of course, she probably thought I was joking or being like hyperbolic or something. But
oh, yeah.
Oh, no. I was a pathological liar.
Yep.
Yeah.
I lie. And I like to tell myself that I really wasn't, that I didn't lie that much, that I didn't do people wrong.
Yeah.
But boy, I did.
Oh, when I look back.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you feel like I don't feel bad for it now.
No,
like
because I know I've been forgiven.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know who God's made me now.
Of course.
So there would be no point for us to dwell on
the
things that we did, because I would be the first one to raise my hand and say, oh, I did you wrong.
Oh, for sure. And
please forgive me. I did you way wrong.
That doesn't mean that I like the person that I was back then. No. I don't at all.
No.
But I've been forgiven.
Yeah.
So those things really aren't.
And that's not
any kind of weight
anymore. That's
to
not
me anymore.
You anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not going to get that me from here on.
Yeah.
So there's no point. You know, God's already taken it from you. It's done.
Right.
Now you can start your whole new list.
Yeah.
of things to ask forgiveness for. But no, walking with Jesus 100% will never be able to do it.
No.
He'd never sinned once.
Right.
And
well, that was the whole purpose for the cross.
Exactly.
God knew that we were just sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We were never going to get it right.
For sure.
There was no way we could.
Oh, yeah. We didn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
We, I don't know. It feels like I became a product of the environment that I was around. And I just dove in.
Of course.
And I made my own, with like Menace to Society. Those became my favorite things in the world. Those kind of movies. Gangster killing, then Rob Zombie movies.
Right.
And that's who I was. I enjoyed that stuff. I got into that. Like, oh, I'm hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you're just lost. I mean, I don't know that you can't enjoy movies and stuff, but they just don't hit the same for me.
They don't, because I think there's, and this may be getting a little spooky wooky, but I think there's a spiritual aspect to everything in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we're allowing into our mind and into our spirits, it's either breathing life or it's breathing death.
Oh, 100%.
So what I thought was pretty cool that you said that your interest in music started to change and your entertainment choices started to change. And if you go back and listen to any of the episodes we've done, I'm a huge component of that. I think those are the signs that we should be looking for, that God is actually moving in your life.
Yeah.
Because I say all the time, if you get saved,
yes,
but nothing in your life changes, like your habits don't change, your entertainment doesn't change, and not just forcing yourself to do it, but like you said, it makes you feel different. It doesn't hit the same.
It's your heart changing.
If you don't feel that, then you probably need to go back and reconsider, did I really encounter Jesus, or am I just attending church?
Of course.
Because there's a big difference.
And I don't want to say this where it sounds judgmental or sorry for people, but man, if you haven't yet, open your heart 100% to the possibility and go look for him. And guess what? You'll find him. And you won't be the same after.
Yeah.
For the better. And
he says, I am waiting at the door.
Man, he meets you where you are.
Mm-hmm.
He met my wife and I on the floor in our house and said, come to me. We'll get this fixed.
I can't wait to talk to her about hers too.
Have fun.
Because I know.
It's great.
I know a lot of Jenny's story,
mm-hmm.
but I guarantee you there's a lot that I don't know as well.
Oh, she told me something she's never told anybody in her life.
Yeah, see, I know there's probably a lot of stuff like that from what I don't know.
Yeah. I will
Just
not
like-
speak on anything like
No.
that. That's hers to share with y'all.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing story.
Oh,
It's
I can imagine. Because I've seen Jenny and I've never even seen her at her darkest.
yeah.
Like, she lived in Oregon, and I know she struggled up there.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing. You don't want
But
to burden
she was a
anybody.
lot like me, where she was a recluse. Like, she shut herself off,
That's
just
what
the way
it
I
is.
did.
I did that too.
Yeah.
I lived in my room for about 2 years.
Yeah, I did like little witchcraft rituals in my closet.
Yeah. Which closet is that? I don't want to.
You know what's funny? I used to have an altar. It was on that nightstand set up right in front of that window.
Yeah.
And there was one night Amber came in and I was doing a like ritual at that nightstand. It wasn't maybe 4 or 5 months later that I broke down and had an encounter with Jesus at that same nightstand, and I was speaking scripture and I was just like weeping.
Yeah.
And she just stood there and was looking and was just like, she saw the transformation.
Yeah.
And that's when she knew, oh, Nick has really changed.
Yeah.
Nick has had an encounter with God.
100%. Right there.
Right there. Same spot.
The same spot you were trying to get him away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's try to conjure some like.
Yep. Yeah. Power. Some kind of power.
But like I told you, I got so angry because I thought he didn't love me because I told myself and taught myself that I was unlovable.
Yeah.
That I thought, if you're not going to accept me, I know he will.
Mm-hmm. And
I'll serve him.
exactly.
Because I still had a hunger and a desire for something spiritual.
To be a part of it.
Yeah.
To be included.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially when, like for me, nobody included me.
Yeah.
In LTS, they don't make you do anything.
Right.
But they ask you to find those root problems.
Yeah.
Like the tree. The roots are all down here, and that's the first thing that happened in these areas.
Yep.
And then all the things that happen after just grow into a tree and branches and become so heavy you can't carry it anymore. So we go in there at those roots, and it would be like, one of mine was the fiance that cheated on me.
Yeah.
And they say, what did that do? Like, what was the effect? So the effect was I was not going to trust women ever again. That's what that was.
Yeah.
So that was the cause. And we would go in there, and you just basically give all that away. You give it back to Jesus. Like, you ask him to help and to take it.
Yeah.
And you physically hold it out and give it to him.
Yeah.
And release it. When I felt my shoulders, like my body felt immediately afterwards so different. I was so light. So everything off my shoulders.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, he took it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The light feeling.
Yeah.
That's another indication that I love hearing because it's confirmation for me too.
For sure.
It just confirms that what I went through was God.
Yeah.
It was real.
And
Isn't that the best feeling?
It
You
is.
feel like you feel like a feather. Like,
it's like relief and joy and happiness, and
it's the burdens literally lifted off.
just gone.
Yeah.
You took them.
And he even says, my burden is light.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's so,
And it's like, oh, this is okay.
I could live like this.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But you don't know that feeling.
Right.
I haven't ever known that feeling.
No.
And it's hard to explain. But you feel so much tension just gone off of you.
Yeah.
So much weight, so much everything that you built up into why you're not a good person or why nobody wants you, all the things, all these theories you've been making in your head your whole life to put yourself down or rationalize why you're so sad or why you want to kill yourself and stuff like that. Gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
In an instant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what I told her. I was like, so it didn't work the same way for Jenny. the second day, it didn't just all go away.
Right.
Her prayer session, her one-on-one was really big for her.
Okay.
In my prayer session, I smiled and laughed with Dr. Graham the whole time, pretty much, because I was so
That's incredible.
happy.
Yeah.
Like, whenever we gave it back, I gave it back, and he took it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have it. So I don't have all this stuff on me anymore. Nothing elicit a response at all.
Yeah.
Out of my pain from the past. So I was like, oh, okay. So he would ask me questions, and I'd be like, yeah. Yeah. And I would answer them, and I'd be smiling and going. I was just so eager. I'm so eager to find out what's next for me.
Yeah.
You know, what he has next for me. And I ask him every day, show me. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Send me where I need to go, and I'll go.
Yeah.
Where you need me is where I'll go. And I've got a few answers. I won't talk about them yet, but
Yeah, there's no need to.
yeah, I know he's stirring up things in my head. So, like with my wife, it was really pointed at her creativity, big time. And since
I believe that 1,000%.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what he was showing her, and me too, though, in a way. Even my whole life, I've always wanted to talk to kids
Yeah.
who are going through an abusive household, growing up in that, or drugs, or any of that, because I've been right there through all of it.
Yeah.
And I know you can go this way or you can go this way.
Right.
And one of those ways will lead you to nothing good in life.
Yeah.
You won't allow yourself to have anything good.
Right.
Like, I had a thing, my dad always used to tell me when I'd get a promotion at a job or something was going good with a girlfriend, he goes, time for you to mess it up now, huh? That's what you do. Once it gets good, you just screw it all up. And so I put that in my head too. So it basically became where I was.
That formed that groove in your brain that that's what I do.
Yep. So if things would get good, and of course I'd get a new promotion at a job, and then I'd just stop going. Wouldn't want to go to work anymore. And,
Yeah.
it just became in my heart and in my mind who I was.
Right.
And, not even having to think about it. Like, I was doing it without knowing that I was doing it.
That's ingrained in you subconsciously at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very confusing, and it's very angering, and, I know it sounds easy, just go to work. But that's been really hard for me a lot of times in my life, is just to leave my house.
Right.
I don't want to be around anybody, don't want to see anybody, and I would get to where it would be so bad when I'm trying to get dressed, and I would just start, like, crying and having, like, panic attacks about going to work.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get my head right. I couldn't, you can't do it alone. Those kind of things you cannot do alone. And
that's where his freedom is so cool to have, because you don't have that anymore.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, it's just take it away. It's just gone.
Yep. And and now it just, man, I just want to make him happy.
Yeah.
I want my family to be happy. I want to be a light that you can't ignore.
Right.
I want Jesus. I would love for Jesus to use me that way.
Right.
He is. Because everybody that sees me knows that I'm not the same person.
Right. And
there's only one reason that happened. Only one person that did that for me. And that was Jesus.
Right.
He came to me. I wasn't there. I want to tell you a funny story. I just popped in my head. My mom, well, she was at our baptism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, so Sam, while Jay was preaching, Sam's over there. And Jay would say a line or whatever, and Sam would be like, yeah, so good, so good.
Oh, yeah. You talking about the keyboard player.
Aaron was doing it too. And my mom goes, who is that guy? He's so rude. Why is he talking while he's trying to give his sermon? That's the old Lutheran church in her,
Yeah, buddy.
And I was like, Mom, it's kind of encouraged here. I was like, he's not doing anything wrong. He just really feeling what Jay's saying, it's speaking to him. And she was like, I don't like it.
Oh, man.
How long are we going to sit up and sing? I was like, Mom, it's worship. I was like, you don't have to put your hands out or anything. I was like, but she was clapping, trying to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And she's never been really religious at all either. But when we left, she had all those critiques, but she said, man, I really wish her significant other would have been there because of the message was so pointed towards. And I was like, well, guess what? That's what he does.
Yeah.
He knew you'd be here today.
Right.
And he knew he could reach you. And she really likes Jay. She was like, I loved him.
Yeah. Jay's a great pastor, man. I love hearing him preach.
Yeah. And you can feel it from him.
Yeah.
You know, you can see it in
He's
him.
a genuine
100%.
pastor. Yeah.
And I feel very blessed that we were put there.
Yeah.
They're already doing so much for us and helping us. And that's not why we're there, but
yeah, but that's how it should be.
That's who we all are now.
That's why that's such a good church, because
the community is greatness.
Yeah.
And it's come from everywhere. And people, you know, I don't know.
Right.
Come up, but they're so ready to help. And it makes me, at first it made me feel guilty and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, you don't know me. Like, I can
Yeah.
barely take money from my mom anymore. Like, I can't, you know, accept help from people I don't. But that all changed too.
Yeah.
You know, because as soon as I can do it, guess who's getting help?
Absolutely.
But even if I can help in any way, I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can. But we're on to bigger, better things, and we will be able to help a lot more people. I know we will. I can feel it, and I
believe it.
They can have all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need much. We haven't had much for a long time, and we do just fine.
That's right.
But so we're ready.
That's
we're ready
so good,
to walk
man.
with Jesus, and
well, I can tell you, I can hear it in your voice.
yeah,
I can see it in your eyes.
I've never been able to hide anything in my eyes.
Yeah.
It always told the truth.
I can see it.
Yeah, it feels.
And so it's good to sit here and have this conversation with you, and to hear you say things like, I want to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus did this for me. The Holy Spirit. I love it.
Once you know him.
Because that's where I'm at. And so to see you in that place too, to see you have that encounter with Jesus and be on fire for God, man, I love it. And I love that you live
right there.
right on the same property as me.
Yep, exactly. And you know, I've almost come down here to your cross so many times. And I
do it. That's why I built it.
Well, I've got like 1 billion chicker bites already, and I'm like, dude, if I get down on my knees,
I want to put some like decomposed granite around there
for sure,
and like a bench there, because I want that to be like a staple for our property where we can go and pray and worship. And
you know what's funny?
What?
When you put it up,
you have decomposed granite.
No, when you put that up, me and Jenny were going, well, you weirdos, what are y'all doing?
I bet, dude.
She was like, oh, why are they putting that on the property? It's not just, and then after we've gotten to where we are, we love that it's here so much.
Good.
It's beautiful, and it's a sign. That's why I wear this every day.
Yeah.
Because if I ever do slip and do something, you know, I can grab it and be like, dude, remember what this is all about.
Yeah.
And
without that,
yeah, we don't get this.
None of this is possible.
Exactly. So now I want to watch The Chosen all the time. I pretty much only.
Isn't it the best?
It's so good.
It's the best.
But when you learn who Jesus is,
yeah,
how could you just not be drawn to him?
Right.
Like, and just want all of him. Like, I am jealous of Matthew and Simon Peter and everybody.
Yeah, dude.
You got to walk with him and know him and see him, and it's like, I just think of the day when it comes, what it's going to be like to just see him.
Oh, dude.
Just look at him, and it's just going to radiate so hard. You're not. Can't wait.
Me neither. I can't wait either, dude.
Like, he is.
I love this, dude. I'm so happy for you guys.
It's, yeah, and me too. And it's.
Amber and I have been, and for probably the past year and a half, when we pray together, you guys always come up in our prayers. And our parents come up in our prayers. I mean, everyone in our circle comes up.
Yep.
But to see God move on that
mm-hmm.
is just like, come on, man. I'm so excited for you guys.
I really pray that a few more ears open.
They will.
I know they will.
They will.
I know they will, because I've been being told that they will.
Yeah.
A lot more are going to open. There's kind of Jesus is kind of a cool thing right now, like to the world, because people are looking for answers hard.
People are hungry and they are desperate right now.
Big time.
They're kind of looking around at the culture and being like, something's wrong.
If you can't feel it, then you're
Yeah.
a part of it, probably.
Yeah.
So it's pretty bad in the world right now. But like, it just doesn't, I don't want to sound heartless or anything, but it doesn't really affect me anymore as much as it
No.
did.
Because you have had a realization that this is a pit stop.
Yep.
This is not your home.
100%.
We are ambassadors here. That's all we are.
For sure. And I'm good at talking, and I'll talk all day to somebody.
Yeah.
And let them know. I can share my story.
Yeah.
And the people that have known me my whole life, that's who it's going to open up more.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I don't want to, it feels judgmental sometimes, but I just want it for everybody.
That's not judgmental, because you know what a good thing it is. And you were like, if you had like the best chocolate in the world,
Yeah.
everyone you saw, you'd be like, you have to try this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
For
to
sure.
try this.
For sure.
But instead of chocolate, it's completely life-changing. It's a sense of freedom. It's a
Yeah.
sense of joy and peace, and just there's no words for it.
Of course. And I've lost.
And I know we've said that so many times already, but it's the most frustrating thing, because you want to express how good he is, but you just can't. Someone's got to experience it.
That's exactly how I would combat it, though, whenever I was against him.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't show me?
Yeah.
You can't prove it to me?
Right.
It's not real.
Yeah.
If I can't see it,
I know.
get out of here.
I know.
And dude, oh, you could feel it?
Yes,
I can. Yes, I can.
I really can.
It's so funny. Think going back and eating your words. Like, it's
I know.
Dude, you were a fool.
I know.
You were a fool. You
I
thought
know.
the pride, boy, pride is that one.
Pride is a beast, man.
Pride is the one that,
you said something about rejection earlier.
Yeah.
You mix abandonment, rejection, and pride together.
oh yeah.
You're a tough nut to crack.
I think it kind of forms your pride,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes you never going to let anybody hurt you in that way again. Never
Nope.
going to let anybody say they're going to help you and then they don't show up. You're never going to let that disappointment, so you'll never ask for help anymore.
Right.
Pride does a lot. It
Yeah.
covers so much.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much it did cover until LTS.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so pride was definitely my number one. That's
Pride
what
is
it
a
was.
beast, man.
And I got pride in my state. I got pride in all this stuff. And I don't know that that's necessarily bad. It's what you do with your pride.
Right.
And, like, even I'm a Longhorn fan, of course, die hard, have been my whole life. It doesn't matter as much to me now.
Right.
But boy, I would cuss people from Oklahoma left and right. Anybody wore OU, you're trash in my eyes. That's who I was, man.
Better speak to your niece, because
I know I've already given her a couple jabs
Okay,
about
good.
that, but whatever. I told her then I told her it's a good school. You would do great to go there, and that hurt. But no, it just the things you think are important, those aren't the things.
Yeah.
They're all worldly.
right.
I'm not saying that things aren't important here, like family and the way you treat other people. 100%. All
Yeah.
these things are important here still, but they're not the goal.
Right.
The goal is to be with our Father in heaven.
Yep.
Whenever they come for us.
Yeah.
So I just want everybody to have their ears open and their heart open to Him, where they could fully experience it and make their decision from there.
Yeah, dude.
That's what I want. And whatever I can do to help, I'm in.
Me too.
If my story spreads and helps somebody, yes, please.
Yeah.
Let ears open up.
Yeah.
Big time. Because I could hear fine my whole life, but I wasn't listening, you know.
Yeah.
So he opens your ears. He makes it where you can hear him.
For sure.
And you got to hear him, though.
Yeah.
You got to listen. And hopefully everybody does. I mean, I know not everybody ever will.
Right.
It'll never be
Never.
100%.
I think that's a hard thing to come to grips with, too.
It is.
But
it's sad.
Yeah.
In a way. Because some people just stayed trapped where we were.
Right.
And I have friends that didn't make it out of that.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. And family members.
Yep.
And I know you do too.
Yep.
And it's sad.
It is.
I mean, I lost a lot of friends from high school, not from suicide, but drunk drive, like a lot of drunk driving.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, like 7 of the people that
were
in my grade and the grade below me.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Sanger, that's all we did.
Sanger, man.
Yep. There's sayings about Sanger that I will not say on here, but
if you don't know Sanger, it's a small country town.
Yeah, and it was a lot smaller when I was growing up.
Yeah,
and
it's booming right now.
Yeah, I mean, but you could buy cigarettes at 12 at the gas station. You could go to First and Last and get little drive-through and buy beer. If you had any kind of facial hair, all you need is a friend with facial hair, and you can get beer. That's it. So we would just drive up, get beer.
I still wouldn't have been able to get beer.
Yeah, just get a friend.
36 years right here, Zud.
Dude, mine didn't start growing until I was 28. I was baby-faced my whole life. Bad. And then I thank the Lord that he allowed me to have facial hair because, boy. But I'm the only one in my family that can grow a beard. So
lucky.
Yeah, I like it. I was like, I'm the fat one, but at least I get a beard. Look at all you looking like pretty young boys.
That's me.
Yep.
That baby face.
That's my brother Travis.
All right, man. You got anything else you want to say on this?
If anybody is not a believer but would like to find out, just be sure that you're there all the way with this and open, because he will find you and he will show you.
Yeah.
But you got to be looking for it. You got to look for him. Just please be open to it and let him show you how it really is. Then that's your relationship with him from there on out. And it'll change your life.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
All right. If we come up with anything else, we'll jump back in here and do another episode.
For sure.
So, we love you guys. We hope that helps somebody out there. And, we'll talk to you next time. Peace.